What aspect? Sometimes I would like to say all of it, because I don't think the gospel only troubles Muslims. I think it troubles everybody. When you live your life without God, without salvation, without the relationship, Jesus says, I no longer call you a slave, because a slave does not know what the master is doing. I call you friends, because I have told you everything from the Father. That is a relationship that no one gives you except Jesus. No other religion says that except Jesus. And so what offends them, what they're having a problem with, basically all of it. But generally the first one that really stands out is many times Jesus dying on the cross and raising from the dead. That's one issue. So we call it the stumbling block of the cross. There's a famous teacher, Christian teacher, he called me 5 years ago in my office, and he said, Fouad, I know you do ministry to Muslims and you train people. How can we share the gospel with Muslims without the stumbling block of the cross? So I smiled and I said to him, you know, my brother, there's a verse on that. There's a Bible verse, because it says that the Jewish people want a sign and the Greek wants wisdom, but we preach Christ crucified, right? Which is ignorance of the Greek and a stumbling block for the Jews. And so I wrote something on it. I have a book called Who Died on the Cross. And the key for us, for Muslims, what bothers them is that how can a prophet of God lose? If he's a prophet of God, he should win. So him being crucified by the Romans, by the pagan Romans, by the Jewish people, releasing him to be crucified, that means Jesus lost. When you look at the life of Muhammad, it says that Muhammad won. He defeated the pagans, killed them, took Mecca, took the Kaaba, destroyed the idols. So in their idea is military power, that's a proof that you're a prophet. So you as a Christian saying Jesus died on the cross, that's a problem. So they have an issue with it. Basically, we need to respond by that the cross is not preached by the Bible. Never preached by itself. It's always preached with the resurrection, the cross and the resurrection. So the death of Christ was when the story was not over. That story began Sunday morning. The disciples ran away. If you say the gospel was based and the message of Jesus is based on the crucifixion, you're half right. You're not fully right, because after the crucifixion, the disciples ran away. There was no following of Jesus. The story began on Sunday morning. What changed Peter, who couldn't say anything in front of a maid, he denied Jesus 3 times. What changed Philip, what changed Thomas, was not the crucifixion, although the crucifixion is important. What changed them is the empty tomb, the resurrected Jesus who appeared to them. Then those 12 fishermen, those disciples, it says that they went everywhere. The book of Acts is packed, is full of these people who wanted to change the world because they saw the risen Jesus. So when we talk to Muslims, I always say to them, hey, thank you. I know you feel not right that Jesus died on the cross for our sin. However, Jesus rose from the dead. One of the ladies who took our training invited 2 Afghan refugees. And they don't speak very good English. So they had their hijab on. They came to her house. And she has a way to show them a DVD. So she put the DVD. It was on the life of Jesus. When the movie was over, both Afghan girls were crying. So she started talking to them. She said, are you crying because Jesus hung on the cross? And they said, no, we're crying because he rose from the dead and no one told us. See, the Quran mentions that Jesus was born of the Virgin Mary, and then it says one-liners, like one-liners. Christ mentioned 93 times, but it's all like one-liners. It says he did miracles, he raised the dead, but no stories. And then it says God took him to heaven. So we have no idea as a Muslim what happened to the Messiah, the Jesus, son of Mary. We don't know. When they watch the movie, when they read scripture, and they find, oh, on the 3rd day, Jesus rose from the dead. That's the impact that comes to them. So many times that's one of the issues, and we address it.